90. 90 sounds like a big number until you try to get an offense and defense both working in all the areas. And we're going to have probably 86 of them today. There'll be another few. I read this morning that Alabama's going through, so all of us are going through the same thing. There's so much more scrutiny and due diligence and making sure that you got all the paperwork. We're going to have some guys that are going to fill it out, and we'll be at 90 probably by next Monday or Tuesday. But in those 90 players, we have probably the largest core group of experienced players that we've ever had. Now, we've taken a couple of hits since spring training. One, Matt Jones, who has started at left guard since the first game he was here against Georgia Tech 2 years ago, a young man from Hoover, has had to have knee surgery through not an injury, acute injury anyway. So he lost a 2-year start at one guard, and then Tyler Chambers, who's our right guard, is going through some medical review. So we're shuffling a lineup that we felt like that was boosted by the experience we had coming back, particularly in the offensive line. But we've got that's the reason I say there's got to be 90 people making a contribution here. There's not a lot of wiggle room. We're taking 2 people and moving them up in the depth chart, and it's something that every football team goes through sooner or later. It's a little sooner because it actually started when we weren't even practicing or playing. But this is a good football team on the basis of players coming back that have played. But as I said earlier, I think that you don't have the statistical guys. I mean, our leading linebacker last year is gone. Our leading secondary point producer, and that linebacker was Alexander Henderson, who's an All-American, All-Conference. Carnell Clark, free safety, who was some type of All-American somewhere, and Ryan Perilou, and the #1 receiver was James Wilkerson. I mean, all the sort of statistical guys are out of that mix. But I really think that we don't have a Ryan Perilou talent. I don't want to overstate that. Not many people do, but we do have a lot of really good football players here. I think we have slowly but surely gotten the core. It used to be that we had some, but we were so thin that we were a hiccup away from not being able to, to maintain our quality of our play. But we've also are bringing in probably the best freshman we've ever brought in, Mr. Football, Cody Blanchard, who it's not over with yet with baseball, I assure you. I talked to his dad this morning. They always, with athletes of this quality, they don't give up until it's over with, which I think is somewhere in August, and you and I were talking about that date out. He said August the 15th, which could make a real iffy situation for us. But he's been here all summer. We've had the majority of the players here all summer. Quarterback has become a very deep position for us with Thomas Dara, who has not been full speed since he's been here, but we've got evidence of what kind of talent he brings, a transfer from Alabama. And then the other quarterback at that position is a young man named Stephen Coates, who honestly I didn't realize how good he was. Very confident young man, because when Appalachian State's trying to tell you not to go play against Mr. Football, and you say I can play against anybody, you're pretty confident. And that's how you ended up making the decision to come here. So that one position, for example, it gives you an idea that there's quality through the ranks. I don't think there's anything that helps a football team more than competition. And there's nothing that sustains quality like being able to recover from 2 guys being hurt. Is it as good as it's going to be a year from now? No. We've got 15 seniors. Next year we'll have 22. It'll be by far the largest senior class that's ever been here, and they've all played. That'll give you some idea. They've all had those 22 juniors have all had extensive playing experience. So what we are looking for as a program, that is, I qualify myself against somebody that knows more than I do here, Oval, but I'd have to say that is the premier on-campus facility in FCS football over there. I'd have to say that. And I've been to Montana and Appalachian State and places. And when you have that type of facility, you got to be following up with a national level, a national competitor, which is why I try to keep bringing in the traditional stuff. It's a place we've always been. We've bounced around in the top 20 for quite a while here. Never really gotten over the hump, so to speak. Had one last play against Furman here when they were number one in the country. Those kinds of things. So what we're looking for more from ourselves is the ability to, and the whole OVC is, by the way. I mean, as a conference, we're looking to raise the brand, if you want to call it that, of OVC football to the equal conferences. I don't think anything hurt my feelings more than them taking the fourth, fifth best team in some conference up there over us one year. I mean, it just really told me that this, this our league didn't quite have the brand that we wanted to play with and wanted to be a part of. So anyway, that's who we are. That's where we're trying to get. This is the first year. It's no small statement. It's the first year since 2003 I've had the same coaching staff I had the previous year. And that raises my personal expectations of how good a coaching I expect to come out of this coaching staff, because we've gone through 5, 6, 7 years where somebody was starting all over again, and that has affected us. So, anyway.
Questions?
Jack, can you just talk about the process you've gone through with Mark Weiss, having to replace Ryan, having been your 2-year starter?
Well, I guess the best place to start with is when we recruited him. We didn't have Ryan Fairley, and we were talking to him about playing right away. Really had to have some explaining to do. When Ryan came here, he was obviously the starter, and we didn't have a quarterback through circumstances. So we came in here with a high expectation. And we've played him in all but, I think, 2 football games in every game since he's been here in 2 years. And he started, probably the toughest Division I football game we had was this last year against Georgia Tech. I think they won the ACC, or they won part of it, and he played really well. So I don't think there's anybody that questions that we're not solid at that position. I'll be honest with you. Even with Ryan gone, that is a solid position for us.
Is what you saying that Cody's deal isn't over yet? Is he reporting today? Is
Oh
he
yeah,
gonna practice tomorrow and all?
Everybody's working from the assumption now that it's not going to get there, but money talks. And I always qualify this when I compare him to Bo, because he's not Bo, okay? But and Bo. About halfway through 2-a-days, when Bo was a freshman, the Yankees decided they were going to do a little bit more to get him. And the same thing was true with Barry Lunny, who was a left-handed pitcher quarterback for me at Arkansas. So I'm not naive to this is a competitive situation until it's over with, because he's the real deal. It's not an accident he was drafted.
Has he maybe given you an inkling?
His inkling is I'm here, I'm playing football from day one. It is nowhere in his mindset except straight ahead from where he's at. Now, could it change? Cha-ching, cha-ching, yes.